Well, I think when you look at just, I mean, even if you took the score off of the bottom of the screen and just watched the plays, it look it. I mean, Michigan, it looked lopsided. Like it looked like you were playing one of those out of conference teams. Like seriously, especially when it came to early on in the game with Penn State trying to run the ball. Couldn't, I mean, they couldn't get 2 to 3 yards. The Michigan defense was they played lights out, and really when you think about it, you had the pick six. So what? The Michigan defense gave up what 10 points, and then they had and really it was one run that was
One
essentially
busted
the
play.
touchdown.
And
It
credit Penn
just
State real quick, Des. I want you to continue that thought. And credit Penn State. Two things happened. Credit Penn State for recognizing, hey, we got them off balance. Let's not huddle up, right? And so the Michigan defense didn't really get a chance to um, get set, right? We saw MSU do that to Michigan last year. If there's any way you can uh, attack this Michigan defense to get them off balance, is to keep going on no huddle so they can't get their substitutions right. And it was one of those situations where they went no huddle and guys weren't really set. Oki kind of bit real hard. Pretty much everybody bit real hard on running back, and Clifford not really expecting him to tuck it. He tucked it, and it was a busted play. But other than that, Penn State couldn't get anything going. But go ahead.
yeah. Well, and you just look at that domination of can't get anything going. I mean, you're trying to run the ball, you're trying to throw it, like legitimately nothing was working. Like I said, you end up getting the busted play on the Clifford run and the pick six, which I don't know if it was just Fox of what I was watching, but they never showed a replay of that, so I couldn't really see what exactly happened. But two plays and that's basically it. So that Michigan defense, Minter's doing a terrific job, and I think it's once again a combination of I think Minter's doing a really good job, and you also have some really good athletes.
Oh yeah.
Mike Morris played terrific today on the D line. Oki, I know he had the missed tackle on Clifford, played well. I thought Mozzie played well. The
Yeah.
defense overall was terrific. I mean, you could name probably 5 or 6 other guys who played well, and it was just it was
Yeah.
just dominant performance, man, dominant. It's not supposed to look
I don't
that
know if you
easy.
caught this, and Des, and yeah, but it sure is a good feeling when it does for your team. Um, I don't know if you caught this, Des, and as well as our fellow stream subscribers, but I noticed one adjustment I think Jesse Minter made, especially with his defensive line alignment, was there was a couple times with Sean we were getting a lot of penetration backfield, but Sean was at one particular alignment. I think it was on a third and long. We ended up getting a sack on a play where Oki was aligned oddly really far out to the left. You had three defensive linemen that was on the right side, and he was damn near where the corner was. Like he was really far out, and I think what they did was, and it made sense, was it forced a pocket to essentially collapse far on the left side, on Clifford's left side, which then forced Clifford to kind of move more towards his right. And Oki and I think the linebacker Bear basically had a free line right to him. They basically kind of funneled Clifford with his natural tendency to step up. They basically forced him to go right into the defensive lineman's, Barrett's arm. So I think that was an adjustment that they noticed to kind of keep Clifford from, stepping up in the pocket. So look, I was so incredibly impressed. This is one of those days where everybody did their job splendid. Coaches with their approach and strategy, players with their execution. It's just not much you can say that was just bad today. There was nothing bad. Only thing you can do is point out things that can be missed opportunities, really, right? Red zone efficiency. At one point, we were running forward, Des. That is something you could say, look, if you want to be picky, you got to get better at that. Field goals can get you beat. And for a certain point in this game, where statistically we were always dominating by a wide margin, we were down by 1 point. And
Hmm.
part of the reason, of course, there was some weird plays, and we talked about it, but part of the reason was our inefficiency at a certain point in the red zone. We kicked field goals as opposed to touchdowns, where even with those unforeseen things happening with the JJ pick six and the busted play with Clifford, if we got scored touchdowns, we still would have been winning by, who knows, 10 or 13 points. So you can point to that as something that you can't do for. We know with the really good teams, you can't settle for field goals. But for the most part, I mean, yeah, man, it was just it was a boat race.
Yeah, I mean, to piggyback off your point, you scored every time you got the ball. You know what I mean? Except for the pick six. So every time you get in the red zone, you're scoring. But the touchdown versus field goal ratio, you definitely want that to go a little bit better.